Gina's preparing to go live. And we are now on the YouTube channel. And we are to begin in 3, 2, and welcome to the Mandalorian Aftershow here on JLJ Media. I'm one of your hosts, James R. Jr. We are doing season 2, chapter 10, which is actually episode 2. I know it's all confusing, but it's chapter 10. That's how we're doing it. The Passenger. They all have like 2-word titles so far. With me, of course, is my co-pilot of all things Star Wars, Mr. Ryan Nilsen.
What's going on, JLJ Media, Baby Yoda? Darth Vader is your father, James Lott Jr. It's great to be here. Yeah, another fun episode. Not as like invigorating as last week, but just different types of cheap thrills, in my opinion. Happy to be here.
I agree with that, actually. As somebody who I just love to death, and is someone you may recognize from certain universes, my buddy who is not the gigantic Star Wars nerd as the two of us, but he does know what's going on. Creative coach and my friend, Phil Svitek. Hi, Phil Svitek.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This episode was not directed by Iggy Pop, contrary to popular belief.
And Phil's a filmmaker as well.
Yes, he is. I didn't want to tell about his other stuff. I mean, who cares? Oh yeah, Phil has films that he writes. He does all kinds of stuff. I just went straight for the creative coach thing first. But yeah, he is somebody in the film world. Yes, he is. So we're happy to have him, of course. And he and I have done a couple of after shows back in the day. It's been a long time since we've done an after show together, Phil Svitek.
Yeah, Lachey's. What was the Nick Lachey reality show?
Far Cry.
I don't know what the overlap in fan base is, but you know, if you like Nick Lachey, welcome.
Guys, I don't know. Girls, I don't know, something like that. Hi, everybody in chat room. Hi, you guys. Yes, Baby Yoda is represented. I have 2 of them. It's the latest one I got from my mommy. Yes, I'm 51 years old. My mommy bought me a toy. So we love that.
Gotta love that.
So this episode was 40 minutes long, so not as long. Back to like almost kind of normal. Directed by Ant-Man's Peyton Reed, actually.
Which you could tell.
Yes, you can tell. You can totally tell. You saw Ant-Man.
A lot of bugs. This episode.
Oh, I know. Oh, about that. And an ant. And John Favreau, of course, wrote it. I found it to be, like you said, Ryan, I found it to be a fun adventure episode. I like journey episodes where you're like kind of told, we need to get here. So we start here and we see what happens to getting there. So I kind of like this kind of stories. But Phil, what was your overall reaction to the episode?
I thought this is my biggest problem with kind of Mandalorian is that like it's, you know, creature of the week. And this one in particular felt a lot more filler episode. And especially for like an episode 2, I just felt it was, I don't know. I don't want to, you know, I'll move on and focus on the positives. But if I kind of contextualize my viewpoint, I look at like, obviously Star Wars is a Western type of story, you know, just all around. And certainly I like that aspect of Mandalorian, you know, but if I was to compare it to, let's say, like a Justified, I think, you know, each season there had like an overall goal, and not that Mandalorian doesn't, you know, but each episode kind of nudged you along further of where you were going to. And this, a fun episode. I think someone I saw on Twitter said like this would have been a great Halloween episode had they timed that out.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, so it's not bad, but it's just, you know, overall, I tend to kind of not love those types of episodes as much. So that's my context, but I'll focus on the good moving forward.
No, we don't mind some, you know, some little shadiness. I don't care. It's fine. You know, you don't mind. I don't care. No, but my thing is, I work in the soap world. So occasionally they'll do an episode that's kind of like, you know, again, storyline is move forward. It's kind of, it's just like just something to give you a little break from, I guess, from the drama. So I think personally myself, they were trying to keep a little suspense because the way it ended last week with Boba Fett showing up, I think they're trying to prolong it a little bit, I think, before they go right into it. That's what I kind of thought. That's why this episode was there. Ryan, what'd you think?
Right. Yeah, I think I'm in between you two. I think I really like this episode. I looking at the reaction online, I think a lot more people kind of fall in line with, I think, Phil's opinion of this, where this felt like a little bit of in the large grand scheme of things, the story didn't move that much further. And a lot of people after last week were like, we're getting Boba Fett this week. We're gonna get the interaction, and obviously they're saving that for later. I was really into this. I thought this was a really cool creature episode, but also I think it's a unique storyline that I actually cared about. I actually saw a lot of similarities to the first Star Wars, like A New Hope, in that Mando's kind of acting Han Solo here. Like he is taking these people for a ride. He's taking the frog lady for a ride as a job just to get his overall goal. But what's interesting is we're seeing it in what might have been like Han Solo's POV rather than the passenger's POV. I really think it's funny that Baby Yoda almost committed genocide against the entire frog population. And I also would call this the Mandalorian Uber episode, because this was an Uber in Star Wars universe. And I want to see the reviews. I want people to comment what they would rate this Uber trip, because I counted, 3 crashes, evading, let's just say, police, infestation of bugs, didn't really clean the cockpit, very crammed, couldn't speak the same language. Like the driver, Mando's just not getting a 5-star rating on this trip. But for me, I don't think this was a 5-star rating episode. I think it was solid, and I really liked a lot of the homages we got throughout.
That's hilarious. I like that. For me, I don't like bugs and stuff, so it just keep me out the whole time. All those spiders, I was like, ooh, and it's like I'm doing the whole time. So I'm a big baby with that. So I'm not a big fan of that. But again, you're right. Both it was a filler episode to me. I mean, it was. I mean, again, we get these in other genres I work in. So I thought, okay, it's fine. I just have a feeling there's a reason why they did that. And also to kind of secure a little humor. Of course, the show always has humor. And to show that he's still committed to the child, of course. And I think that's kind of, we got more Amy Sedaris. I love her character. So to me, it was kind of, it's kind of fun. I know it was kind of, fun episode.
I mean, here's the thing. I will take everything back if in a future episode, whether in this season or not, it kind of ties back. Like I do appreciate when they have kind of a long game. I don't want to call it the long con. And sometimes shows do that very well. And if that happens, then I'll bow down to it.
Well, also just I did get really giddy. My young self from when I was a child watching the Star Wars films. When he said, "May the Force be with you," and with you, I got giddy when he said it. I just got giddy. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, there were a lot of subtle, small details like that were kind of throwaway lines, but you did learn a little bit more about Mando, because I didn't know if Din Djarin knew about the Jedi at all.
Right.
He knows the saying. It's almost just like a God Bless America in many ways. Like, yeah, of course, just keep going. And I like, Dave Filoni, one of the pilots, showrunner of all the anime shows. And he was in last season. So, he's popping up again. And that was a little bit of a callback and through line for there. But you're right. In the grand scheme of things, certainly filler. It was more, I think, character this episode than it was really the overall story.
Yeah. So basically, if you guys, hopefully, I gotta say this every episode. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! You guys say this. I'm just gonna say it because one person was like, "I didn't watch the show first." I'm like, "Then why are you watching the Aftershow?" Hello. So spoiler alerts.
Spoils.
Okay. Spoilage. Okay. So I know that sounds kind of dirty. So they're ambushed right away. There's action right away. He's on the thing and he's going through and he's knocked out. So then, literally, already attacked. Again, there's other creatures attacking him and grabbing the child. Now, again, it started out with adventure. It started out with action and adventure. Then he gets meets the frog lady. I thought, okay, a frog. Okay.
That's literally the name of the character. It is
frog lady. So I looked it up. I was like, what's her name?
Yeah.
Well, I speaking of the first action scene, what I will give credit there for is every action scene that they do have thus far has always been very meticulously worked through for Mando, right? It's never just a throwaway action scene for the sake of having an action scene. There's always some sort of character development. You're seeing his mental mechanisms at work. And I do appreciate that aspect of it. And all of it feels very obviously true to character, not just like, oh, this doesn't feel real. So that is an aspect that I will give him a ton of credit for, because not a lot of shows or movies can pull that off.
Yeah, it's the thing about this show that I always preach is the execution. a lot of the story we've seen before. We've seen a lot of similar story beats, whether it be for the whole season or just an episode. And this is an ambush. And I didn't for a second think, oh, they're not going to get out of this. But the way they get out of it, the way he walks away clean is so creative. Like, wow, he had to trade in his jetpack. And for a second, I'm like, wow, I didn't think he was going to die in this action scene. But like, he might lose his jetpack here. And no, he just launches it up. So fun, so unexpected.
That was funny. That was actually really funny. He's just like, let him run off with it, and obviously he starts it. And I thought, they always throw humor, so I like the humor aspect, because Star Wars always had humor in it at some point. There was always humor. Yeah. So I like that. But I was going to say, before that, we meet Dr. Mandible, which was an ant-like creature. Because of Ant-Man director,
Peyton Reed.
But wasn't this creature of sorts in something else in Star Wars universe?
I think we've seen an ant.
That's what I thought, right?
That cantina. I think it's in the first one.
Familiar.
Just a quick shot though. Like, we didn't get a whole dialogue betting scene before.
That's very Star Wars. They love cantina scenes in Star Wars stuff. They love cantina scenes.
And it really is that same scene as A New Hope with Han Solo. Like, they are just, here's the deal. It's different in how we get there, but he's playing Han Solo this episode.
Yes, I agree with that. So anyway, we got a big frog lady. She has all the little eggs. She's trying to save the rest of her race. Okay, the child keeps eating them. That was always kind of funny thing. Kept eating them. The whole thing. So with the X-Men. Oh, sorry. What? Go ahead.
I was gonna say he was eating them every chance he got here. And there's also it's a mirrored relationship. Like Mando's with the child from episode 1 of this whole series, and I don't think, similar to last week, he wouldn't have helped a village season 1. Like, he's progressed, and now he will. I don't even know if he would have helped a frog lady season 1, but if that's his one way of getting to find another Mandalorian, he's gonna do it. And also, she's caring for children, so they're both doing a similar thing.
Yeah, it's funny. It seems to me like now he knows he's on a mission. Like, he knows he's on a mission, so now he's gonna do wherever he can to complete that mission. So he's putting up with things that he probably wouldn't have put up with season 1. Going, okay, that's what I said. I like the kind of humor aspect about it. It's like, okay, I'll do it. Like, he doesn't want to do it really, but like, okay, I'll do it. And I'll take him. Everybody, hold on, that kind of thing. So, so they get after they get to the X-wing fighters, they're flanking them and needing proof that he's not part of the Imperial. I just love all these little things that just kind of threw in like a stew. That was kind of fun, and that's where the whole line of "May the Force be with you," and with you also, which is very Christian. Like, may peace be with you.
Yeah,
that's kind of funny. So I like that. I liked all of that kind of suspense, and then trying to outrun them, and he gets onto an ice planet and crashes, and falls through, and then
falls hard. Like, that was a crash, and it shows, hey, he didn't get away clean from that episode in season 1 where they were trying to get that prisoner. He's on the record, like, he's on file.
Yes.
So that opened my eyes a lot there. I was a little confused, to be honest. Like, I don't want to nitpick too early, but the whole rationale about not being able to go like light speed, I was kind of lost. Like, they were like, yeah, it'll destroy the eggs. Like, really? That'll destroy the eggs? Like, that I thought they just kind of threw in there and were like, yeah, that's how that works. Let's go. And I was like, okay, sure. Like, that was the one part of the episode where I was like, oh, I'd never heard of that before, but I guess, all right.
I mean, eggs, humans, creatures, they all survive light speed. So I don't understand why would an egg with that?
What'd you think? Yeah.
As far as the physics behind it all, I can't explain it.
Come on, Phil.
Here's the thing. Maybe I could, but I just I have too many variables at the moment. Give me at least 3 out of the 4, and I'll solve for that one. But
I love it. But this is something we've seen on many shows, many times. This scenario. I've seen it in so many. You see any action shows or anything that just happens when it gets stuck somewhere below, and then there's always one person who runs away. It's all the stuff that we've seen before. It's a regular.
The Frog Lady Spa is what I was.
Yes, I was like, "Oh, go on, girl. Okay." She's like, and you couldn't understand. Elaine's like, "Oh, it's warm in here." I'm like, I get it, but the first one before that though, because man doesn't like droids. I thought it's funny
Right.
that he used that droid to communicate with him at first.
I thoroughly loved that. I was a little confused as to why the frog lady didn't continue to use that.
Right.
And maybe she said all she needed to say, but I think they're setting up something there where maybe that droid has hacked the ship or the crest, something. But last week he was a little bit more reluctant to droids because he let those droids clean the ship. You
Yes.
could tell ever since that sacrifice from IG 11 from last season, he's kind of eased up his hatred against droids. But no, I mean he was very antagonistic once again there.
Yeah, he don't like droids.
Yeah, I'm with Ryan on that one. Like I do think like it was tracking where he at least would give droids a more of an individualistic shot, you know, versus just this blanket statement of I don't trust droids.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Well, I guess the Mando's evolving on some level.
Yes.
I want to use that
Right.
word. I guess. I mean, it's a very touchy-feely word, but I think maybe he is starting to evolve a little bit because we're seeing him. He actually is connected to the child because we know that. At this point, he is connected to the child, and he wants the child's best interests, and he's ready he's ready to help the child. So maybe in other areas he's softening up too a little bit.
True.
I think. I mean, season 1 we saw that, you know, towards the end of season 1, and now we're seeing a continuation of that. So, so the child the child finds all these frozen pod things. I was like, what? I'm like, what are those? I kept thinking they don't look good. Again, we've seen a million of these movies. I mean, I watched a million horror films and other things, and like them, the ant thing back in the 50s. They always say these weird things like, you shouldn't touch those. And when he opened up the one at 8, I was like, oh, when he said eat the one.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, something's going to happen, and it did, of course. And I just, oh my god! I mean, I don't like spiders. Sorry, I just don't like spiders.
Neither do I.
I'm like this spider-like creatures. I'm like, there's a big one in there somewhere. I know there is. It can't be just those little small ones.
See, for me, spiders I'm cool with. Snakes I don't do. I'm like I'm the Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Proud-
Yeah.
Different Harrison Ford character, yeah.
I'm Ron Weasley, where I'm also not a big spider guy. But I mean, we've seen a ton of interesting spiders on film before. Like I was going to say Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. Like there have been these crazy big monster spider creatures. I honestly think these take the cake for the most part. I was blown away at how scary these were. I don't think we've really seen a creature this scary in Star Wars, at least for me. And again, I think that's just because it's that spider like arachnophobia element where that a lot of these other monsters we've seen in Star Wars don't have. But I was like, wow, I really genuinely didn't know how they were going to get out of this. And
I was shocked how fast they were going. There's just no like I can outrun them. Like
these were sprinters. Yeah, these were sprinting zombies in many ways. Like that. Right. The speed was an element.
Yes, and even Frog Lady had to start leaping for a minute. I was like, oh, she's leaping. The frog's leaping. Okay, go on, girl. So
that was a great touch.
It was. No, it was. So, Phil, what do you say?
Oh well, one of the things I'm curious, like when we talk about like just the anatomy of spiders, do you think part of it is because it's like an alien creature type spider versus like just, you know, even in Harry Potter, though there's magic, it's really based in a reality of like what a spider is. Whereas this, you have a little bit of leeway left or right, you know, however you want to take it, and it adds that.
Anxiety. Yeah, I think it's the leeway. I also think this was Peyton Reed really flexing that he is a bug guy. Like he is not. I thought this was a little at the top of the episode. We got that ant. I was like, oh, nice little wink there. He flexed the insect. Like I'm the bug guy. Give me every bug movie in episode.
I agree.
I bet if he does another episode this season, there'll be a ton of bugs in there again. But no, I think what was even creepier about this was the web was like some sort of ice web, which I've never seen in any type of sci-fi spider or anything. Like that was such a cool idea. I thought they were ridiculously creepy. And I saw this online. It's a Ralph McQuarrie design. He's the guy who designed everything in the original trilogy. Okay. For storyboarding and just like what everything was going to look like. So this is something these spiders were actually originally going to be in Empire Strikes Back when they were like hiding on that asteroid and
yeah.
but they took it out. So this is from the original guy who designed a lot of what we see in Star Wars.
Well, hello. Anybody hear that out there? That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
Hello.
Very interesting, Brian. Hey, I did not know that. That was good.
Tidbit.
Okay. Little tidbit. That was good. Now I don't know, Phil. To me, I don't care if it was an alien looking thing or a regular spider. I did not like it. Spider. All those little legs and they spew, and I'm just all of it makes me uncomfortable and itchy. That's all it did for me. And I was just like, these things moved fast. They got on the ship, which I didn't know that was going to happen. I thought for sure he was going to close it up, and that whole thing. No, they got on the ship, and they were on the ship, and they were like, and when they came out in the webbing, and he was like killing a few. They have a few left over. I was like, ugh. It did its job. It creeped me the F out, and it did its job. I'm going to say about that. It did its job.
It did its job.
It did its job. But the frog lady pulled out a little gun at one point to help save them. Pulled out a little gun.
Little pistol. Just
pistol. I was like, oh, frog lady, where'd that come from?
Yeah, I first I was like, Baby Yoda's gonna do some Force thing and
yes, that's
save
what I thought
everyone.
too.
And no, she took out a piece and just started popping spiders left and right. And then I had a panic attack when I saw a spider the size of Baby Yoda on Baby Yoda's head, and he can't even reach to his head, like his hands are so small. There were some disturbing moments. Like I really do think. I know this is sort of like a TV-14 Star Wars show, but if kids watch this, like prepare yourself. You might get like Temple of Doomed with this episode of Mandalorian.
We're doing a lot of Harrison Ford tonight, and that's my middle name, Harrison. So there you go, kids.
There you go.
Name's Harrison.
I'm curious, like, as far as the child goes, I feel like for me, there's always this anticipation of when's the next time he's going to do something, right? And I don't know. It's like mentally for me, that's like a fun game of like, ooh, is it coming? Is it now? Because like last week especially, I thought like, I'll call it a graboid, just in honor of Tremors. But like, I thought like with this gigantic thing, they're gonna need the child in some sort of way.
Right.
It didn't happen.
It's
That's
more
true.
just
You're right. You're true. I thought for sure. Yeah, I thought the child was going to do something too. Because when the spider got on top, the giant one got on top of the ship. I was like, they are screwed. Like I really was like, I was thinking how they're gonna get out, because obviously if they get out, the show will be over. So obviously it's gonna not be over. But it's like, how are they gonna get out of this? They killed everybody else, all the little ones, and this giant one is on top. Like, how are they gonna get out of this? I was like, and I thought the child's gonna do some, whip of the ears or something, and all of a sudden it would be like disintegrated.
And I guess part of it is if I was them, I'd be nudging the child, be like, yo, do your thing. Come on, let's go.
Do the little hand thing.
The little hand thing. Come on, child. You know what to do. Help me out here.
Once again, it's the execution. Like up top, I didn't think they were going to perish. But I didn't anticipate the whole jetpack scenario. Whereas this, we see them finally lifting up and you're like, okay, they might get out of here. And then no, big spider slams them down, and those rebel fighters come back.
Which was another nice touch. They brought them back. It's almost like Phil was saying, they could tie it together on some level. It makes it all worthwhile. So them coming back, I didn't expect that either. I really didn't expect that. But I forgot that they were on the island. Excuse me, wrong show. They were on the planets trying to find them. I forgot about that part at first. And so they were probably still around. So that makes sense. And they hear all this commotion, and that's why. So it did make. So I also like Phil. He's saying that as long as there's some tie-ins or some wraparounds or things, then it does make. Then it's not. Then it won't be as bad as just a throwaway episode or something. Like it's just. But for them to come back, it was like, oh yeah, I forgot about those two. Like I said, and then they gave us the whole reading of like the warrant out for his arrest that we didn't really know about all that stuff, and so they did give us a little something that we didn't know. They kind of laid out what the warrant is for. And then they play it off just like, well, it's been a tough time out there. Whatever.
I was like, is this a COVID reference? Like, these are trying times. And also, and I mean, the callback of, yeah, you totally like stole a prisoner, but you made an effort to save that captain, which we saw in like the security camera footage. Love that touch. So in many ways they were. He was like, then will you help me get my ship out? And they're like, no.
Right.
Sorry, man. Nah, you got it. But they saved them. I think that it was, hey, like karma. There you go.
Yeah, no, I just, again, it was like, this show really doesn't do anything just because So I thought it was very cool that they did kind of lay out what had transpired and what was out there in the universe regarding him. And so we know that. So that can be used against him later at some point too. I mean, now that we know that, someone else may say, I'm going to arrest him for blank, blank, and blank. That could happen. Michael B in the chat room says, Baby Yoda is good, but he's still a baby.
50 years old. It's time to grow up soon.
He's my age. Well, he's actually younger than me. I'm 51.
Ooh.
Right?
He is.
Yeah. He's like, exactly. But I just thought that was a nice touch to let kind of, they literally clearly let it all out. This is what's going on in the universe concerning you, the information that's out there.
Yeah.
And they know he's a bounty hunter. They know all that stuff. But I was like, oh, okay, did not expect that. So, and they let him go.
Expect it.
They let him go. They had to let him go because, again, I mean, the show would be over. I mean, it'd just be like, it wouldn't. Do you want to see him in jail? I guess
I could have seen him getting arrested, to be honest. I think I anticipated them, if they're willing to shoot and save him from all these creatures, all these spiders. When he asked, "Hey, do you want to help me get out?" Then I really thought they were going to help, and they don't. Like it was very matter of fact. Like these are trying times.
He said something like, check the whatever or whatever. So, like he tried to help him like check something, and then they just flew off. I was like, I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know.
It was fix the hull, I think, because there's like the huge gash in the majority of the ship. That's why they're all in the cockpit at the end there, because they can't even pressurize it.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride. He's like hold on. I started laughing. I'm like, okay, all about Eve. So they're gonna get him to get out of there. And so I thought, okay, and they get off, and the child eats one more egg, of course.
Yeah, that was just a couple. I was thinking of Rocky in that scene, like Rocky before every run, downing some eggs in the cup there. So Baby Yoda's he might be going for a run a little later.
Have you ever had a raw egg?
No,
I haven't even. Phil?
No, not interested. I don't even like eggs.
Oh, you like eggs?
Not really.
I like eggs, but I don't like raw eggs.
Yeah, I'm a scrambled guy.
Egg scrambled? Okay, I'm an over easy sunny side up guy, of course.
This is a scrambled episode.
Sorry, Phil, what'd you say?
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
And James Lott Jr., may I just throw out, we found out how they ask in the Star Wars universe, how do you, do you need to go to the bathroom? He goes, anyone need to use the privy? I was like, they never talked about the bathroom in Star Wars before.
I know, he said the privy. I was like, I actually wrote that down in my notes.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention that too, Ryan. We're on the same page. I was like, the privy? It was like
privy?
I told Dad, hey, we gotta use the privy, go down, use the privy, go down. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, but where's the privy? Like, where is that is a toilet? Is it I don't know, how did they go to the bathroom? I don't even know.
It's an English, that's probably an English expression, but they've never said it in Star Wars.
Never. I never even went to the bathroom.
I think the Brits use a wash closet or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a water closet, like they say in England.
Privy. Anyone need
I'm just like, Mando, of course, I can see how he goes to the bathroom. I don't even know how this child squat. Does it like lift a leg up? I don't know what to do. I mean, frog lady, they're frog. Frogs, I don't know how to go to the bathroom either. I don't know how to go to the bathroom. I mean, that's kind of weird. But I wrote that down because like that was an interesting little nugget of like, I never heard it before. I mean, again, but there was humor in it. That's the whole thing. The show has humor. And the Mando is the straight guy, so to speak, but he does have, like with him and Amy Sedaris' character, of course, Pele, whatever, I forgot her name, Pele, they have this back and forth. And I said this before on the show, I like her character. I didn't think she could work in this, but it works. Like she's being Amy on some level, but she's actually fits the kind of quirky Star Wars characters we see sometimes on the movies and the shows. She actually works. I like her on it. I thought she was distracting, but I like her.
I'm curious, Phil, what do you think of Amy Sedaris in this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I mean, I thought it was. I don't know. I feel like I'm walking into a trick question that I don't know.
Well, no, because I'm on the different end of James in this because it's interesting. I love her. I love BoJack Horseman. I love Amy Sedaris in that show. But for some reason, there's something about her in this show that I'm like, I don't for some reason it doesn't fit with me. But I know so many other people who love her in this. So I don't know. I'm just curious where you lie.
Phil. Just it's whatever. I mean,
I don't know. I guess I don't see what you see. I'm more of the James camp on this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, well, okay, yes.
I don't know, but now as I go to watch it, like I'll have a different lens of it and be like, okay, what do we got here with my microscope? Whatever.
No, like I said, my thing was I wasn't sure. I love Strange with Candy, or she was Jerry Blank. I love her work, and her brother's work, of course, too, his books. But I was just kind of like, I wasn't sure for me if it would work or not, and because she's not like John Leguizamo was on last week. We didn't see him. He was full in costume, and it worked. Clearly, it worked. But she's not in full costume. She has some makeup on. It's a little different, but she's Amy Sedaris basically. So I wasn't sure if it would work, but to me, it does work. In this instance, where she is, what her role is, to me, it actually works in the Star Wars quirky characters part of the universe.
Definitely.
That's my thing to me. But I see what you're saying to Ryan, how it can be a little distracting sometimes. I get that, but I'm surprised. I like it. I think I like it. In the chat room is saying, I like her. I don't know why other folks don't like her. But I get why folks may not like her. I get it. I mean, I get it. But I think
any Star Wars piece of content has a quirky character that hits for some people and doesn't hit for others. From the Jar Jar Banks. I think
let me start on that one.
Right, well, we're full of the notes.
I have Star Wars fans on that one. So anyway, yes.
But so I think this is just another one of those characters that the thing is, she's making like a lot of great choices and taking a lot of chances. So I'd rather that than someone who just doesn't even hit altogether. What I'm really interested about her character in this, though, is up until now, the 2 episodes prior to this that we've even seen her, she just kind of seemed like someone who was willing to help Mando, loves Baby Yoda. And then in this, it's almost like hey, this will help you, but she was really in it for herself. Like she fools him with the hand, takes $500 or whatever from Mandalorian, and then here's a passenger that might help you. Probably not. It's a huge burden. Have fun. I trust her with my life. I met her 5 minutes ago. Like that type of. That was an interesting little thing because we haven't really seen her like that before.
No, there definitely we're seeing more sides to her. She does run things where she is. Like she runs things over there. I mean, that's kind of what she does. Like I thought she was just some little side thing, but I think she runs things. That's what we're seeing. That she's not she's not as dumb or whatever as we think she might be, or as quiet, or she really is. I think she's running things.
She's running stuff.
That's what we're finding out about her. But I think again, the Star Wars universe, there are many characters people don't like and get upset about. Leave the Ewoks alone. There are folks who get upset about things for various reasons, things. So, I think, and I'm saying, I think Bill Burr took me out a little more than she did. They said in the chat room.
Ooh,
interesting. Okay,
really? I thought he was pretty solid.
Explain yourself.
But yeah, it's another example.
Yeah, I guess it didn't bother me. Again, it didn't bother me, but I guess okay. But see, again,
that didn't bother me, but I knew it was like it to me. It was just like, oh, it's Bill. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's just very like himself type of thing. No matter what he kind of does.
It's like that uncanny.
Like Carl Weathers. I mean, he's Carl Weathers. I mean, but it doesn't take me out of it though. I can still believe him in the role, and I mean, not everybody is Giancarlo Esposito. I mean, he's a guy who's a chameleon who like just any role he takes becomes the role. But some folks, yes, they're we know who he is, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me so much.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's that fine line of, look, if it was Leonardo DiCaprio, wouldn't buy it for a second, no matter what role, because it's just such a huge star, and we're so in Star Wars. That's just not. We don't get A-listers just kind of popping up. Like that's just not a thing Star Wars really does. They make people become A-listers, but we're getting like people that even in like the newer movies, we weren't getting stars as big as a Carl Weathers or as like a Gina Carano. Yeah. It's sort of that like they're huge, but they're not household names. And I think Amy Sedaris is one of those. Bill Burr is one of those.
Ming-Na Wen is one of those. She's been around for a long time. And some people know her from things, but she's not a huge star. Like she's not
right.
Wasn't Daniel Craig a stormtrooper? But
Yeah. I think he was a cameo,
Yeah.
but you didn't see him. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
But even to that point, it obviously kind of proves it's like if you're going to bring in that type of celeb, it's like, oh, he's going to play the stormtrooper just because it's fun,
Right.
taking you out of the in that case the movie.
Entirely. That's exactly right. I think, and that's something that I've always really respected about Star Wars. When they were projecting the casting for Mandalorian or even Force Awakens, it was all unknowns or people were just on their come up. But and that's just one thing that's so great about Star Wars.
Yeah, that's true. They did it from the very beginning. I mean, Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, they weren't big stars. I mean, they did a few films before that, and of course, Carrie Fisher was Eddie Reynolds' daughter, but that was Eddie Fisher's daughter. But they weren't huge stars. I think Harrison Ford had done American Graffiti, and that had been it. I think he hadn't done anything really major than that.
Yeah, like Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, that's all. That's it. But it made them stars once that happened. Even though Billy D. Williams was a star earlier in the 70s, but he's Lando. Leave him alone, bitches. He's Lando. Leave him alone. But he was a star in Lady Sings the Blues and all that kind of stuff. But that was in the Colt 45 commercials back in the 70s. Don't just smooth chase fool you. But he wasn't. But again, he wasn't a huge star either. So it still worked, and that's why it kind of worked. But you're right. I thought about that Star Wars. They don't really do that. Other franchises have brought in big names, like really big names for stuff. And you're right, they don't really do that.
Yeah. It's a good little detail.
So that was your Mandalorian Chapter 10, the second episode of Season 2.
The Passenger.
The Passenger. Recap and everything. And I want to thank everybody out there who actually watched our first episode and actually listened to our first episode. I just went on today and we had a bunch of spins and downloads. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't expect this, so thank you very much. I know you have many choices out there in your Mandalorian universe, but we're glad you're stopping with the Hars and seeing what we're doing over here.
Thank you for stopping. I want to hear I want to hear the Uber reviews. What star rating? Because this was the Uber episode, right? And I don't even know if he's going to finish the trip, quite frankly. So we'll see. It ends with them pressurizing that cabin, and they are right. He haven't even got to his destination yet. He said he hasn't even gotten there yet. So it's like, so we should see Frog Lady and him again next week, right? This week we should see them again this week. We definitely should.
Yeah.
Do you think that she'll make it? Might go into prediction. Sorry, I didn't want to jump the gun.
That's a great question. How many eggs will be left? Shit. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's question.
That was another thing I was thinking. Is one egg equal to one frog, or is that a couple hundred?
I'm not a zoologist or anything, or oceanographer. I don't know. I mean, Phil, do you know? I have no idea. I did the zoo Aftershow. I was horrible with animals, so I don't know. You tell me, Phil.
Certainly not in the Star Wars universe. Again, there's just an unknown X factor that you never can account for. I don't know. At least I can't.
I think it's a bunch of tadpoles.
Polywogs and tadpoles, all those things, wherever they come into.
I don't think this frog lady's making it. I really don't. I think eggs will.
I feel sad already. I'm like, dang it.
I know. It's I don't. But I think that would be an interesting turn for him to maybe have to complete the mission, even though she might not be there. I mean, even she says it when we get the Google Translate droid. Something like this is the only thing that matters to me in my life is just making sure my race continues on. What more noble of a cause? And he can relate to that in many ways. So I do think that those eggs will end up there. I do think he'll get his guidance to where to go next or where to find a Mandalorian. I just don't know about her fate.
Listen, I'm not predicting this, but it would be hilarious if he's like the Noah's Ark of the Star Wars universe, picking up all these soon to be extinct species.
He's collecting them and collecting them and collecting them.
Yeah,
they take them all the way to the end. That would be hilarious.
Love it.
That's
a good comparison. Yeah,
Mando's Ark. Thank you. Well, thank you guys for watching us. And if you're watching us later, thank you for watching us. Like, subscribe, and comment to this channel, JLJ Media, and to this. I see some likes in there already. So thank you. Thanks for the likes on the video. I have my other podcast, Darth Vader is Your Father, and that is out on Thursdays. So you go ahead and listen to that. I talk about all kinds of random stuff. I will be talking about when Star Wars went Christmas back in the 70s. So I will be talking about that. But also, there is the Lego Star Wars holiday special. If you haven't seen the trailer, it is hilarious in the trailer. You excited, Ryan?
Big time. I'm very excited for the Lego Christmas special. And I think we are getting a Mandalorian and Baby Yoda appearance in there as well. So we'll have to check that out and maybe even briefly talk about it.
Yes, we'll talk about it. And Phil, have you seen the trailer yet, Phil?
I actually haven't. I'm so in a bubble of just news that like anything that doesn't like automatically penetrate that is not coming, hasn't been coming in.
I'm going to send it to you. You got to watch it. It's funny.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, we got to watch it. It's good. So Phil Svitek, thanks for being on the show, and tell me they can find you and all your goodness.
Of course, this was a lot of fun. Very simple, at Phil Svitek. Website, social media, all that good stuff.
And Ryan.
At Ryan Nilsen on Twitter, RYNILSEN, and at Ryan Nilsen on Instagram. Just talking about everything pop culture, especially Star Wars right now. So give me a follow there. James?
Where can they follow me? We're all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. on all the social media platforms, even on TikTok, folks. Follow me on TikTok. I talk Star Wars, and that's where it's all started. My fan base came from the TikTok Star Wars family. So Star Wars Nation, love you guys. Everybody, please be safe out there. Continue to be safe out there. It's not all over yet. And have compassion for each other and enjoy Star Wars. That's our getaway. A place far, far away, galaxy far, far away. Of course, be with you.